Hey everyone, I'm Darshan and I'm here today to teach you how to use the Red Hat Enterprise Linux. I'm currently using Fedora, which is built on top of the Red Hat Enterprise Linux, in short form RHEL. So whatever I'm going to do on Fedora is going to be the same thing on Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So you can also use CentOS, but I'm using Fedora right now. To use Fedora or Red Hat, you need to have an what uh, virtual machine like Parallels. You can also use VirtualBox and VMware, but since I'm on Mac, I'm using Parallels, which is the easiest thing to do. So if you want to know how to download and install the Linux, you can go to YouTube and type a simple prompt saying how to use Fedora on Mac, Windows. The steps will be there on Google. So let's head into the topic right now. Okay, so there's something called terminal. Okay, this is the most important thing when you're using Linux. Without this, I wouldn't agree that you know Linux. Okay, there's a black window which opened. This might look similar to um, the CMD in Windows, which is command prompt, or the PowerShell in Windows, right? So in Windows you can use commands like dir and whatnot, but here it's slightly different. On Mac and Linux, both are built on top of Unix. Okay, so these two operating systems are called Unix based systems, while Windows is not. Windows is not Unix based system. Okay, so yep. So why do we use Linux is an entirely different topic. In this video is only going to be about how to use it. Okay, now you saw me logging into the computer using a particular password and a username, right? So I typed the password for this user, Parallels. Okay, and this Fedora is my host name or the computer's name right now. Okay, now there are two kinds of users in Linux, either a normal user or a root user. Root user basically means the administration user. Okay, he has all the powers. He can delete, add anything in any part of the file system. Okay, but this normal user Parallels has limited permissions. Okay, he cannot go add anything he wants. Okay, or delete anything he wants in any part of the computer. Okay, so to switch to the root user, I'm supposed to type sudo -i. So it will prompt for a password. In this case, it's not asking for the root password. It's going to ask for the Parallels password. Why? So in this case, my normal user Parallels has the permissions to execute root commands on the behalf of root. That's why just on typing the password for the normal user Parallels, I'm able to turn into the root user. Okay, but not all normal users have this permission. They cannot execute commands on behalf of the root user. Only in this case I can do it because my Parallels user has been granted the permissions. Okay, now there's a command called pwd. Pwd stands for print working directory. Directory means folder. Just like how you right click a new folder in Windows, is the same thing. You call that directories in Linux, not folders. Okay, so when I enter this command, it says /root. Okay, now what does this mean? We got an output, but what does this mean? Okay, so you know how file system is in Windows, right? So you create a folder, you put files inside, you put folders inside, and then you create another folder inside a folder. Okay, so let's say I have a folder called fruits. Okay, and inside that I have fruits. Okay, apple, watermelon, and all of that. But I want to create another folder inside fruits saying red fruits. Okay, which is a subcategory of fruits. Okay, I'm going to put apple and watermelon inside that. Okay, so now I would represent that folder as fruits /red fruits. Okay, so in this case, fruits is our top level folder, top level directory, and this is our subdirectory. So red fruits is inside fruits. So similarly, the first ever folder in our Linux system is called root. Okay, this / sign stands for root file system. Okay, that means there's a folder called root inside root file system. Okay, the name of the folder is itself root. Okay, so let's go into this root. Okay, to go inside this root folder, I'm supposed to type cd change directory space / root. So now I'm inside the root folder, but you can clearly see that there's no difference on the screen, right? Okay, let me go into some other. Let me go to the root folder, root file system itself, cd /. But now you can see a change. This tilde symbol changed to this /. Correct. Now this symbol, this part of the prompt, okay, signifies where you are in the file system. Okay, this symbol tilde means you are at the home folder, home directory of the current user. My current user is root, correct, and that is why I was inside the root directory, correct. Okay, and right now I'm here. Now let me switch to parallels. Okay, so I go switch user, I mean su parallels. So now I switch to parallels without a password. Why? Because root person, if you have the root permissions, you can act as any other user as well. Okay, so only if you're going to from a normal user to another user, you need to put the password. When you are already in the root user, you don't need to put password for any other user accounts. Why? Because root user is the supreme user of all users in the Linux. So yeah. Now I'm in the root file directory. Okay. Now I want to create a file. Okay, saying touch .txt. Now it says permission denied, and that is exactly what I told a few minutes back. Okay, that is the normal user parallels cannot execute commands anywhere in the file system. Okay, it has its own dedicated area where it's allowed to execute commands. Okay, here touch command, what it essentially does is it creates an empty text file with the name idk.txt, idk.txt. Okay, so okay, let's go to parallels root folder. Okay, so cd tilde symbol. Okay, I'm going to type pwd to check where I am in the Linux file system. So I'm in root file system, home folder. Inside that I'm in parallels directory. So I have used folders and directories again and again. It means the exact same thing. Okay. So here let me create a file. Touch txt. Okay. Now to check whether I have created the file or not. Okay. I don't know where the file is, right? I just executed a command and it's looking like it worked. It's not throwing an error, but I cannot see where it is created. So there's a command called ls, list storage. Okay, it has a lot of options. But let's just execute the command as it is right now, ls. Now this is going to tell you what all things are there inside the current folder, current directory which you are present. Okay, so inside /home /parallels. Okay, what all files and directories or what's there inside. Okay, there's a file.count.txt, downloads file2.txt.gz. We'll look into what gz is later. .txt is a text file, you guys know it. Public, music, templates, and there's a lot. Okay, now we don't know what is a folder, and we don't know which one of these is a folder. We don't know which one of these is a normal text file. You know which of these is a compressed file, anything. We don't know, right? So to know that, okay, we do something called long listing. ls, we have an option here. Okay, we just don't type ls. We type ls hyphen flag. Okay, l. Okay, this stands for long listing. Okay, when I execute this, is the same exact output as the previous one, but the difference is what? We have a lot more details about the file or folder. Okay, now ignore the entire string. Okay, just see the first character of the entire string. Okay, if you see a d, just like these three and the last 4, 5, right? That means it's a directory. Clearly, desktop documents and downloads is a directory. It's a folder, and that's why you can see D here. And here also you can see music, pictures, public templates, videos. They are directories, they are folders. Alright, so the ones which are not signified with D, they are not directories, they are not folders. Okay, here it's not a folder, clearly it's not a folder. Text is obviously not a folder, info.txt is obviously not folder. Okay, now let's go into desktop. Okay, so cd desktop. So I'm in desktop. To see what's present inside the desktop directory, again I'm going to type ls, okay, or ls-l. So now there's something different which you have not seen yet. It's called L. L stands for link. Like just like in Windows how you can create shortcuts, okay? If you have a game somewhere else and you want to create a shortcut of that game in the desktop, okay? Doesn't mean the game is in the desktop, right? Your game is inside C drive and some games folder. You just copy the exe file and put it on the desktop, and the moment you click that exe file on the desktop, it redirects to the actual folder where it's present. So it's a link, okay? So this parallel shared folders, okay, when you access this, it basically gets accessed from media PSF, okay? So it's not present in desktop, it's just a shortcut, it's a link, okay? And coming to what the rest of the things are, okay, there's rw dash, r dash dash, r dash dash. For now, r means read, w means write, x means execute, okay? I know execute starts with ex, but it's just simple to say ex, right? Execute. So yeah, this is the time of creation of the file, last modified, okay? So also right now my date and time on my Linux is kind of different, so that's why you're seeing this, okay? Yeah. So I just press Ctrl L to clear my screen, but it doesn't actually clear. Okay, you have to type the command clear. Okay. Now I went to desktop folder from my home folder of my parallels. I need to come back. Okay, so I'm going to type cd home parallels, and I'm back to my home folder for parallels. But how do I do this without typing the entire thing? I just had to come one level behind. From here, I jumped into desktop. To come back to the previous folder, I typed the entire path of what my parallels folder is. I don't need to do that. Let's go back to desktop and do this simpler way. Okay. To just come one level behind, I need to type cd space and then double dot. Double dot always signifies go one level behind in Linux. Okay. Users. Okay. Let's say there's a computer lab. Okay. There are IT admins and there are students. Okay. I have a user, Darshan. There's a user called Vishal. There's a user called Anubhav. Okay. But should I give permissions to each and every user separately? Like Anubhav has these set of permissions. Darshan has these set of permissions. Vishal has these set of permissions. No, that's stupidity, right? So what we essentially do is we assign a security group for all of these users in a separate space. Okay. We say that as a group. This group has these set of permissions and we link the users to this particular group. So essentially what happens is whatever permissions are granted for that group, the same permissions are granted for the users. Okay. If I'm part of the students group, only students permissions I can do. Okay. I have permission to. Okay. I cannot have freedom as the IT admin group. Got it? So let me go back to my parallels. So we create a file called I don't know.txt, but there's nothing inside the file. Okay, to check the contents of the file, we are supposed to type cat command, cat and then the file name. Okay, so once I executed this command, there's nothing on the screen. Let's enter something, right? Let's enter something. So Nano is the text editor. Notepad and Sublime Text, VS Code. These are all text editors, right? The most simple text editor in Linux is Nano, Vim. There's a lot more. Okay, Nano is pretty common and is the most easiest thing to use. Okay, so Nano and then the text file name. So this is my essentially the notepad of Windows. Okay, so let me type, hey there, this is Darshan teaching Fedora Linux. Hope you guys understand how Linux file system works. Cheers. Bye bye. Okay, now I've typed this, but this is not saved. So to save it, I have options here. Control G means help, Control X means exit. But I'm not going to exit without saving, right? So to save it, I'm going to do Control O. Okay, write into the buffer. Okay, Control and then O. File name to write, is it the same file name? I don't know .txt, or do I need to change the file name? So I just enter and it says wrote full lines. That means we have saved it. Okay, let's exit. Control X. Okay, now let's do the cat command again. Now there's the output. Okay, this is the output now. Now let's say we want to create another file. Okay, let's create I don't know 2.txt. Okay, there's no, okay, so I'm sorry, this is to read, right? We don't even have that file. So touch I don't know .txt, right? Now if we do cat and then id, okay, and then I press tab, okay, it will autocomplete. Now I'm going to press one more tab. Now it's showing, it's a prompt. It's giving me a prompt. There are multiple files. I don't know .txt and I don't know 2.txt. Okay, so which one are you referring to? Okay, so the moment I type 2, it becomes unique, and I press another tab, it auto completes for me. So yeah, now let's actually go back to root. Okay, so sudo I type the password for parallels. Oops, clear. Okay, now let me do ls. Okay, now let me do lsl. This is long listing. I can also do ll. This is an alias. Alias basically means it's another name for the same thing. Okay, ll is equivalent to typing ls-l. Cool. Now inside the root file system, not inside the root file system, inside the home folder of root user, there's a file called anaconda.cfg. Yep. Yeah. Now to check if this is the only file present, I need to do a command called ls-a, which stands for all. But no, there are a lot more files. Okay, there are a lot more files. But why can't I see them? The reason why you're not able to see them is because they are hidden files. All the hidden files and directories, whatever is hidden, they will start with a single dot. Alright, so all these things start with a dot. Can you see? Dot bash profile, dot cache, dot c chassis, dot ssh, dot vim info, correct? Dot bash history, correct? Now why do we need this? Okay, or in other words, let's just say how do we create a hidden file? Same thing. Okay, let me create touch I don't know .txt. Okay, fine. Now I'm going to do ls and I can see I don't know .txt, but now I want to make this I don't know .txt hidden. Okay, so I'm going to do dot I don't know .txt. Okay, so I'm going to do ls this I don't know .txt, but you cannot see the other I don't know .txt, so I do ls-a. Now there's a hidden file dot and there's a non-hidden file, and that is the exact reason why you type list storage, you can only see the first one and you cannot see the other one. Okay, so this is the concept of hidden files. And right now I typed a lot of commands. Okay, and previously before starting this video also I have typed a lot of commands, right? So how to view all the commands? How do I check which all commands I have entered till now? So there's a command called history. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, history. So these are the uh, files. I mean, these are the commands I executed till now. Okay. So yeah, this is until the last memory, and every history command I think has a capacity. Like you can hold it till the last 1,000 commands used, last 500 commands used, last 2,000 commands used. It's actually, you can change it. Please go check out how you can change the number of commands you have in your buffer history. Okay. All right. Now let's notice something. There's a hashtag here. Okay. But when I change to, okay, let me change to uh, parallels. There's a dollar symbol. Okay, there's a dollar symbol. Now, whenever you see a dollar symbol in the prompt, this means your user here is not a root user, it's a normal user. But when you see a hashtag or a hashtag, it means you are the root user or the admin user. Okay. Now let this clear. Let's go back to the previous user. Okay, that is root user. So you saw a command called exit which I didn't use yet. So from root user I jump to parallels. Now let's say I'm going to root user again with sudo -i. From that user I'm going to jump to another session. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm creating sessions on top of sessions. Okay. So I can do another exit here. Previously on root I was on parallels, right? So exactly. So let me do exit and let me do exit again. Let me do exit again and boom, it's closed. So let me open another session. Okay. Cool. Now there's a very important directory called etc, that is inside the root file system. Okay. So let's switch to etc. Okay. ls. There's so many files, man. There's so many config files. There's so many files and folders. Very interesting folder it is. You will be frequently using it when you're configuring network, everything. Okay, like top to bottom, you need anything, you'll at least go through etc every 10 minutes if you're a Linux user. Okay, interesting. Let's clear. And inside etc, okay, there's a very particular file I want to access. Okay, cat os release. Okay. Now, oh my god, there's a bunch of output. What the hell is this? Okay. Now it's saying name is equal to Fedora Linux. Cool. That is the version 36 of Fedora. And a lot of information about what this operating system is about. The latest, I believe, is 38 of Fedora or 39. Okay. I'm currently having 36 Fedora. And yep, the reason why you can see Red Hat is because Fedora is inherited by Red Hat. Okay, so everything which works on Red Hat is going to work on Fedora. Similar for CentOS. Now you can also see there's a file called Red Hat release. Yes. So it says Fedora release 36 in words as well and also numbers. There's another file called Fedora release, I believe. So it's essentially the same thing. Okay, let's say you are in a terminal session on some Linux distro and you want to check which OS are you using. Okay, you can go to etc directory and you can view the OS release or the OS release file essentially. Okay, so let me show you something really cool. Okay, let me go to AWS console. So Just a sec. I will have to use an authenticator. So 73137. Yep. Yeah, so I have something running here. Okay, so let me connect to this instance. So this is a server which I'm running on AWS, and this runs Linux. Okay. Oops, there's something wrong with this instance. Let's just use some other instance. Jenkins master stopped. Okay. Let's just launch, create a new instance. Okay. So test IEEE CS VIT. So there's a lot of options here. Okay, you can see Red Hat here. Okay, the moment you see this, just assume you should know Red Hat. Okay, it's not something no one's studying about. It's very important. Okay, for right now, let's just take Amazon Linux. Okay, which is by default. And okay, you can ignore these. Cool. I'm just going to launch an instance right now. So let's connect. Still pending. Yep, connect. Okay, so this is similar to our what do I say, Fedora on my Parallels virtual machine, right? So PWD works. Yep, it works. LS works. Yep, it works. Why didn't it show anything? Because there's nothing inside EC2. Okay. Now again, this is the host name. Okay, or the computer's name. This is the username. This is clearly not the root user. I can say it because it's not root here, and because there's a dollar symbol. It's not a hashtag symbol. Okay. So let me go to the etc and check what's the OS release. Okay. Now it says name is equal to Amazon Linux, version is equal to 2023, and you come down, you have a lot of other information as well. Okay. But it says ID like Fedora. Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna copy this and ask ChatGPT. Why is it saying ID is equal to Fedora? Because I'm using Amazon Linux, right? So if you look here carefully, it says Amazon Linux based on the CentOS Rail family of Linux distributions. Okay, it does have some shared ancestry with Fedora. Now, what does this mean? AWS, Amazon Linux inherits Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Okay, so if you are entering the cloud industry, DevOps industry, or anything which requires Linux, you need to have Red Hat Enterprise Linux Administration. Okay, knowledge of it. Okay, yes, you can have Ubuntu servers and whatnot, but the most demanded skill is Red Hat. Okay, in terms of cloud and DevOps. I mean, in terms of with respect to Linux administration. Okay, so ID like field is information is used by certain tools or scripts to identify the distribution. In this case, it's telling you the Amazon Linux has some similarities to Fedora. It has some similarities to Fedora, but it's still a distinct and separate distribution. All right. Okay. Okay, so can I run yum command on Amazon Linux? Yes, you can run the yum package manager on the Amazon Linux. Okay, cool. Now what is yum? What is yum? This is the last thing I want to tell you guys. Okay, what is yum? So essentially, when you're installing something on Windows, what do? You go to the website, the applications or the games website, you download the executable file, the .exe file, and then you double click it and you run next, and then install and finish. That's how you do it, right? Now, Linux is much more simple. Okay, you have a package manager. Okay, you have two package managers in Fedora right now, Yum and DNF. Okay, I can use both to install packages. Now, why do I have both? It's basically the app store for Linux or Amazon. It's the app store for Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Okay, like how you go to App Store or Google Play Store to download apps. Similarly, okay, I'm gonna type what's the difference between Yum and DNF. Yum and DNF are both package management utilities used in Linux distributions to install, update, and manage software packages. Okay, that's exactly what I told. Now, Yum uses synchronous recursive dependency resolver, not needed at all right now. Okay, DNF, what we need to take is this allows for faster and more accurate dependency resolution. Fine, and this is why we use DNF. Okay, and a lot of other advantages and disadvantages as well. So, I think DNF full form is dandified something. DNF full form. Dandified Yum. Okay, so there's Yum and there's dandified Yum. So let me install something as simple as DNF install VS Code. But why is this not coming? It says I need super user privileges. I need root privileges. So I'm going to execute sudo. Okay, now it's saying there's no argument for VS Code. Unable to find a match VS Code. Okay, what does this mean? Now we can't just type whatever we want. Okay, after DNF install or yum install, it has a particular keyword. Okay, so such as, let's say I'm going to install this htstop. Okay, so why is it saying nothing to do? Because it's already available. Okay, it's already available. Now let's go to our browser and type how to install VS Code on Red Hat Enterprise Linux using DNF. Cool. Okay, so what this essentially means is, okay, let me zoom it for you. Okay, so at the Microsoft repository, okay, so when you type sudo dnf install VS Code, first thing is that VS Code is not the correct keyword. Second thing is that it does not know where to locate VS Code or code. Okay, so you're adding the repository where it is available, where the VS Code is available. Okay, so you're making DNF identify where VS Code is available. Okay, by doing this you can do it. Okay, before that maybe it's already available, so let me just, okay, wait, didn't, unable to find a match code. Cool. So I'm gonna copy paste, some reason it's not pasting. what we can do is we can type it manually or open it a browser. It's probably because host machine on this thing usually works. But once you copy this code, paste it here, and then run this command, it's going to install code. Okay. Now let me check if Nginx is installed. Nginx is not installed. Okay. So to download Nginx, to install Nginx, the exact same thing can be done. Okay. Sudo install sudo dnf install Nginx, and it's going to ask yes or no. Yes. So right now it's downloading. So it says it's complete. So when I type Nginx, sudo Nginx, cool. So it works. It's not throwing any errors saying it's not available. But I want to remove Nginx. Okay. I'm going to ask ChatGPT again. How do I remove Nginx package using DNF? So as you can see, okay, it's the same command, but instead of install, it's just remove. Okay, because DNF already knows what to do. It already recognizes Nginx. Okay, so when you type remove instead of install, it's going to completely remove it from your what do I say system. So when I say sudo dnf remove Nginx, it's going to ask for yes or no again, and it's boom, done. And I press Nginx I type Nginx right now, it's saying no such file or directory. Okay, I'm going to install it again. There's a slight change which I want to do. I'm going to type -y. Before this, when we type this, we had to answer yes or no, right? Y for yes and N for no. But imagine you're running a script which does not have any human input. Okay, how are you supposed to install it? Okay, so to auto accept the agreements, you just say -y, flag y. So once I do this, my hands are off the keyboard and it's already installing. And boom. Now we have talked about how to install packages using DNF or yum, how to remove packages using DNF or yum, how to create files, delete files, write files, to check what kind of file it is, and also to check hidden files, how to create a hidden file, to switch users, to exit from a session. But we haven't seen one thing, the most basic thing. You have created a file. How do I delete the file? How do I delete the file? Okay, let's go to our home folder parallels where we have permissions to create or delete. Okay, pwd, and I'm there. Now I'm going to create a file. Oh, sorry, there's a file already. I don't know .txt. Okay, so this is there. I want to delete this. Okay, so you can type rm for stands for remove. I don't know .txt. Okay, and it's removed. Okay, how do I know whether it's removed? ls, and there you go. There's only I don't know 2.txt. This is not there. Okay, now if I try to read it, it says no such file or directory. Okay, again and again, directory nothing but means a folder. Okay, let's create a folder. Okay, in this case, to create a folder, we do mkdir. Fruits, I guess. No, fruits is too simple, too lame. Softwares. Okay, make directory softwares. Okay, to check ls. Where is it? Why can't I see it? Here, softwares. Okay, softwares is there. To verify it, I have softwares starting with D, so that means it's a directory. Cool. So this is the user which is owned. This is the group which is owner of this. Okay. We will check what users and groups are permissions later, but this is what we need to do right now to delete or create a folder. Okay. Now let's move I don't know 2.txt to this folder. So to move it, I do mv, okay, and file name or what we want to move should be the first argument. So it'll be 2.txt to where we want to move it, softwares. Okay, whether we have that / or not doesn't matter. So let me check. So 2.txt is missing from this. Interesting. So is it there inside softwares? So if I do ls softwares, yes, 2.txt is there. Okay, I'm going to create one more directory. Okay, mkdir files exams. Okay, exam files. Okay, so here exam file is created. Where is it? I'm not able to see. Yeah, exam files. Okay, so I want to delete this exam files. So I do rm exam files, but it's saying rm cannot be done because it's a directory. So this means rm can be only applied to files, not directories. So how do I delete it for a directory? I have two variations of this. I can either do rm directory, rmdir exam files, and boom, it's gone. Let me just create exam files again. Instead of rmdir, let me do rm-f. It's a folder argument. Okay. Oops. So when you're using this, you have to do rf. Okay, which means recursively delete files. Okay. Cool. Now, looking at this rf, you might be confused. What the hell does rf does? But I'm clear with rmdir. I'm not clear with rf. Okay. Let me do the same thing with rmdir, but softwares. Why? rmdir failed to remove softwares. Directory not empty. What does that mean? Directory is not empty, so I cannot delete directories which are having files in it, having something in it. So I need to delete all the things present in that directory first, then only I can delete it. Yes, that's what it's saying, but we can still achieve it. Okay, and that's how you do it with rm rf. Okay, so rf means you recursively delete files inside softwares and delete softwares itself. Okay, so if there's something inside softwares folder, delete all of that first and then delete softwares. So this error doesn't come. Directory not empty error doesn't come. So rf, what it does is it deletes everything present inside softwares and then deletes softwares. Okay, press this and it's done. Okay, now what happens if I do rm rf and this? What happens? What do you think this is going to happen? This means I'm going to delete the entire file system of my operating system, Linux. Okay, never execute this command. Never ever execute this command, and especially with sudo. Okay, right now I'm having Parallels user, so it won't let me do it. Okay, it says it is dangerous to operate recursively on root file system. Use no preserve root to override this failsafe. First thing, I'm on Parallels user and I cannot delete this. Okay, I cannot delete the entire file system. No. So I know Parallels can execute commands on behalf of root. So let me do this. Okay. Before entering, you gotta think twice. Okay, why you want to do this. I don't know why, in which case you would want to do this, but in case you're planning to do this, be extra careful, because once you do rm in Linux, you cannot retrieve it. Alright, once you use rm command and delete something, you cannot retrieve it. I'm going to press enter. It's still not letting me do it. Why? And it's again saying it is dangerous to operate recursively on root file system. That is, it will delete everything inside the root file system and it will delete slash also. So if I type this, okay, if I copy this and paste, if I do this, it's gone. My operating system is gone. So definitely I wouldn't want to do this, okay? And nobody's going to do this. So let's do a recap. Now we have done how to create files, how to switch user accounts, how to delete files, how to use Yarn DNF, how to identify whether we are on a root user or a normal user, pound symbol, I mean dollar symbol. Okay. So we have done a lot of things. You can go back to any point of the video and learn it again. Okay. And any error on the prompt we are getting, on the terminal we are getting, okay, if you do not understand the error, the best thing you can do right now in 2023 is copy that and paste that in the ChatGPT prompt. Okay. Try to understand the error. Reading the error prompt is very important. Okay. Let me type something like this and I enter. It's saying command not found. What's so hard in understanding this? Okay. It's saying command not found. That's it. Right. Now let me DNF install something cool, neo fetch. Okay. Here this command okay, yeah, cool. So it has to be run with sudo. Yes. Oh, let me do something. Let me use this flag y. So it's not going to ask me any questions. It's automatically going to download. Cool. Now it's a very cool command, a cool tool. So there you go. Okay. You can make this appear every time you restart the terminal. Okay. You can make it appear. So it's cool, you know. There are a lot of tools like this for fun. So yeah. So it says I've used 1.1 GB out of 2 GB RAM, right? It's 1117 megabytes right now. And yeah, so hey guys, that's it for the video. So if you ever want to reach me out, okay, what you can do is you can go to the bottom left of the screen right now and you can contact me there, and I'm proud to represent IEEE CS VIT. Thank you for the opportunity and keep learning. All the best.